Hi there, welcome to today's Deck Tech. As you watch this video, I'm 44 hours away from heading over and playing my friendly local gaming school's pre-release on Friday evening, and there was one last one of the commanders that's come through in this set that are only available in the pre-release kits, and you can't use them in your pre-release deck, and it's this one. It's Melik, Reforged Researcher. 3 blue and red for a XX or star powered weird detective. Power and toughness are each equal to twice the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard, and the first sorcery or instant spell you cast each turn costs 3 less to play. Yeah, okay. Is it? We know it's is it, and we know it's going to be a spells deck. It's going to be instants and sorcery based. Hoping they might have done something a little bit different for the murder set, but hey, here's a detective after all, and probably uses his spells very quickly to learn things. So that's my take on the background. I may be completely wrong. Let me know in the comments down below if I am. But for now, this is how I built Melik. So here we go. Since I'm using the MTG Goldfish site for the deck, obviously can't see the pictures, so we're going to have to bear with it and do it this way as we have been doing for all the other ones we've done this way recently. So Melik's here. We don't know what the cost is yet on MTGO. Currently, if you buy the deck as it stands, and the only MKM card in the set, at the moment is Melek. So, the tabletop value is $355. You can pick this up on MTGO for 37.84 tickets, 16 mythics, 45 rares, 13 uncommons, 8 commons. So, here we go. Melek. Creatures. Only 13. We're not going humongously deep on this. Now, you normally with an is it spell slinger deck, you go in and you have electrostatic fence and all the rest of it, or whatever it is, the one I mean, when you have cast an instant sorcery deals 1 damage for each opponent. I've tried to avoid that. I have included a couple of the creatures you usually see in those decks, but I've tried to avoid it as much as possible, mainly because I wanted more spells in the deck. So we've got Baral to help us lower the cost of our instants and sorceries, along with Goblin Electromancer. Third Path Iconoclast and Young Pyromancer give us some tokens, which we can hopefully use to finish the game off with, sort of. Baral and Karizev are also here. Whenever you cast your first instant sorcery spell each turn, you may cast a spell with lesser mana value that shares the card type with it from your hand without paying its mana cost. If you don't, you get the first mate Ragavan, the 2/1 legendary Monkey Pirate token till the end of it gains haste until the end of turn. So it's not too sad. Gutter Sniper is one of the expected ones. I'm sorry, even though I'm trying to avoid playing the traditional spell slinger type cards in the deck, you've got to have Gutter Sniper if you're playing red blue. Riel the Everwise also makes an appearance just to give us a little bit of card draw if people hits with discard. Maniform Hellkite, I always like playing in these sort of decks just to get the extra dragon illusions. Mizzix of the Magus, you can drop this card if you don't own one, but whenever an instant or sorcery spell with mana value greater than the number of experience counters you have, you get an experience counter, and then instant sorceries cost even less for each experience counter you have. It's worth having in the deck. Gandalf the Grey comes in from Lord of the Rings. You all know what Gandalf does now, hopefully, along with Kranos, the God of Storms, and the original Melek. Is it Paragon, just so we can play the top card revealed and cast our instant sorceries from there if we need to. But the other great thing is, whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell from your library, you get to copy it, and then you may choose new targets for the copy. And the final creature, Oviek, Enigma Goliath. I think it's always worth having this card in a red-blue deck, because as long as you're not casting creature spells, you're going to be getting tokens, and it's very hard to remove via, without sort of like Farewell, Wrath of God type effects. Pay 3 and 3 life is very difficult for a lot of decks in Commander, especially on MTGO. But here we go. We have 30 spells in the deck, which are all instants of sorceries. So a lot of benefit, Melik could be a 60-60 at some stage. You were really lucky, I suppose, maybe. Anyway, Wheel of Fates here. Banefire. I like having the odd X spell in the deck. This is one of the ones in this deck. Deals X damage to target creature or player, and if X is 5 or more, Banefire can't be countered. So, if you've got one opponent left, you've got enough mana, this is one way of wiping them out. Brainstorm, just to draw and put 2 back on top. Faceless Loosing, Opt, Ponder, Serum Visions, you all know what they do. They're really necessary in this deck, because you've got to remember, you've got to have at least one instant or sorcery before you play Melik. Otherwise, he'll just come in as a 0/0 and instantly die. So the 1-drop ones really do help out with this no end. No more X spells in Song of Totentaz. I like this one with all the rat tokens it produces. Yes, they can't block, but it does give everything haste in it. Yeah, kind of on the ground fireball sometimes, maybe. I don't know. You see, I like it anyway. Subterranean Tremors, I hadn't even realised it made it to MTG, and I was very glad when I found out it had. It's a nice board wrath thing, deals X damage to each creature without flying. So yeah, anything that's on the ground, a ground pounder, all the ground pounders should be able to kill. And then if X is 4 or more, you get to blow up every artifact in play. And then if 8 is more, if it's X is 8 or more, once it resolves, you get an 8/8 red lizard creature token onto the battlefield. Very nice, very glad it's made for MTGO, and yeah, one of the cards I do need to pick up in real life. Anyway, move there. Counter spell you expected, I'm sure, along with Cyclonic Rift, Mana Drain. I'll just do them in Chaos Warp. We'll do all the ones you probably are expecting me to have in the deck. They're there. Culmination Studies comes in for Strixhaven. You don't mind exiling some of your cards. Treasures, lands get exiled this way, you get treasures. Blue cards you get to draw. Red cards deal 1 damage to each opponent. Again, another way of finishing the game off if you need to at some stage. You can pay a stupid amount for X with a bit of luck and just win there and then. Chaos Warp, you all know what that does, been through that. Force of Rage comes in from, I think it's Double Masters. If it's not your turn, you may exile a red card from your hand rather than pay the spell's cast mana cost. Okay. Create 2/3/1 red elemental creature tokens with trample and haste. Sacrifice those tokens at the beginning of your next upkeep. So you could play it at the end of your turn and have 2/3/1 blockers for a turn, or you could play it just before combat and go through it and go in that way. I still think it's great fun. It's just a shame you have to sacrifice them at the beginning of your next upkeep, otherwise, you know, keep them around for a while. Goblin Offensive is very nice when you get the 3 mana cost reduction, so double red and your cost reduction give you 1 goblin already, and everything else you send into it after that gives you even more goblins. Jessica's Will, well, we all know what this does. Prismari Command, I'm hoping everyone knows what it does. 2 damage, draw 2, discard 2, blow up, get a treasure, blow up an artifact. Storm King's Thunder, just to copy our instants and sorceries, which could be very, very helpful. Yeah. Have you ever seen what happens if you do just Storm King's Thunder for 3 and then Jessica's Will after it? You get a lot of red mana, a lot of cards, and a lot of people go, oh, they've won the game. It does work though, it's very good. Chain Reaction for some board control. Cryptic Command for more some counter, draw, tap, whatever, you know, bounce if need be. Flame Fusillade I've still kept in because it says until the end turn, permanents you control gain. Tap, this permanent deals 1 damage to each to target creature or player. Another way of pinning someone to death. Rite of Replication, hopefully you can kick it. Gets 9 mana. Well, 6 mana if you've got Melik in play, and that's fairly easy to do with this deck. And just kick it and get 5 copies of the best creature in play. Yeah, okay. Access Denied, another one that comes in from Kamigawa, Neon Dynasty, if I remember correctly, from the commander decks there. You get to counter a spell for 5 mana. But then create X 1/1 colour stop to artifact creature tokens with flying, where X is the mana value of that spell. Yeah, okay then. Let's do that and get a whole load of flyers in the air. Mind's Desire is Mind's Desire. Rise from the Tides gives us zombies, and we should have a lot of instant sorceries in play by the time we play this. Insurrection, going to nick everybody's creatures and just win the game by beating you all up with your own creatures. I like that plan, it's good for me, thank you very much, enjoy. Magna Opus, field damage as we choose, couple of 4/4 blue, red elemental creature tokens, and you get a couple of cards. Blasphemous Act, because why wouldn't you have it in this deck? And Time Stretch. Yeah. 7 mana with Melik in play. 2 extra turns. Yeah, don't play Time Stretch that often because people get upset with it, but I feel that in this deck it'd be a bit of fun to have one in. Artifacts wise, not too sad. Mox Tantalite, Elixir of Immortality, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Fire Diamond, Ruby Medallion, Sapphire Medallion, Sky Diamond, and Talisman of Creativity. Now I realise there's the flip artifact missing that reduces the cost of instant sorcery, so I decided against it. I just went with these to keep the mana cost down and the ramp high. Few enchantments. Search for Canter should be fairly straightforward, just so we can manipulate the top of our library and act as a 38th land when we get there. Sorcerer class gets eventually to the point where we get to copy our instances of sorceries, which is very nice. Well, not copy so much. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery, that spell deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of instant sorcery cards you've cast this turn. Yeah, it's still good. Propaganda gives a little bit of protection. Ristic Study gives a bit more card draw. Jace's Sanctum makes our instant sorceries cost less, and then we get a little bit of scry action when we cast one. Future Sight is Future Sight. We can just play with the top card revealed and play it at any stage that we can play it normally, that is. Arcane Bombardment gets us to recopy some of the instants and sorceries from our graveyard, which could be fun. Storm of Saruman means that when we cast our second spell each turn, we get to copy it, and the copy isn't legendary, so you may choose new targets for the copy. A copy of this permanent spell becomes a token. The reason this is here is if we do something silly, and you know, in the playtesting, a little bit of playtesting I've done, I've gone, I'm going to cast Opt. Oh, I've opted into Avika. Oh, I've got enough mana left to cast Avika. Okay, I'll cast this. Oh, I've got 2 Avikas now. Yeah, I'm going to generate a whole load of tokens next turn. It's happened once in one of the test games, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. From there, 1,000 Year Storm does the whole copy thing as soon as Swarm Intelligence. Sorry, sneezed. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, you may copy it. That spell, you may choose new targets for the copy. Thank you very much. The lands, as you would expect, all red and blue all the way through. A couple of things I'll just point out. I am playing Field of the Dead because we haven't got that many creatures, and hopefully this will generate some to block things with. Reliquary Tower is here. Restless Spire is kind of an extra creature I've included in along with the rest of the man creatures I've got in the deck. Like Temple of the False God and Wandering Furor. There you go. And Temple of the False God and Reliquary Tower, I've already said, are here. And that is it for this deck. I think Melik's quite fun. It's a bit of a linear strategy. You've got to play instants and sorceries. I'm playing, let's say I'm playing 30. You may need to drop some of the other cards I'm playing and play forces to get the best out of Melik, but I think 30 is enough with the other stuff we've got in. It's going to be fun. Like I say, still waiting to hear as I record this whether we're going to get these cards on MTGO or not. I hope we are, so I can play them. But you know, you can find out if I get them or not, because there's a link to Twitch down below. Come and give me a follow over on Twitch. Hopefully, down in the other corner here, you've subscribed. I really hope you have subscribed to the channel. It's 333 as I record this one, so compared to yesterday's video, it's gone up a couple since I did the recording for that one. So please, you know, trying to hit 500 by the end of the year. If you can hit the button, I'd really appreciate it. Starting next week, we'll be hammering out as many of the commanders as we can do from the new set. So for now, take care, have fun, and a week next Thursday when this goes live on MTGO. Come and see my Twitch stream, because I'll be drafting the new set on MTGO just as a one-off like I always do. So thanks for watching, take care, see you soon, bye.